Hello, welcome back to Market Avenue. Today on SME Narrative, which we simply say SMN, we're hosting our own colleague Michelin Taka. Michelin, welcome. CEO of Michelin Mirror. Michelin's Mirror. Hey, Asamaba. Mirror. And your mirror. Ah, okay. Then I will say that you are the CEO of M&M. Okay, welcome. Great to have you in the studio. So Michelin combining. Okay, let's start. You're a journalist, a news anchor. Great. As a mother, okay, and as a news anchor, how do you combine this stuff with journalism and motherhood at the same time doing cosmetology?
Let me just say that is where I tap most of the energy from. But beyond that, planning. You can't achieve without planning. Clear-cut planning. So that first of all, when you wake up in the morning and you know you have to be in the office, for instance, my schedule to come read the 7 o'clock news bulletin, nobody cares about what I do before getting here. I have to make the time earlier to wake up, get the kids ready for school, feed them, leave them for daddy to drop them off before I get to the office to run the day's work here. And then when I close, quickly I rush to the shop and get it done over there. When I get home late, I don't sleep, even though I'm tired. That is when I quickly put the kids to the washroom, get them ready for bed, feed them, and then head back to the kitchen, get the cooking. So I cook in bulk. I don't cook in bits, no. I cook in bulk. I portion them accordingly. I label them, put them in the freezer so that when I come, I'm just warming this and putting this together. Even if I have to cook, it wouldn't be from start to finish.
All right. So how? Let's find out. Let me find out. How do you venture? What inspired you to venture into this cosmetology business? Because I know you've been doing journalism. All of a sudden, pum, you are doing this job.
You see, it's not sudden, but let me just say that it's passion. It's been an intrinsic desire since I was a child. The interesting thing is that even after JHS, now they call it JHS, but my time it was SA, junior high school. My mom wanted me to go into hairdressing, as we used to call it.
Why?
But because I had the talent, the dexterity was there, way from childhood. No one taught me how to braid hair. No one taught me how to make cornrows, draw my brows, and all those things. It was an intrinsic thing. I see it, I emulate, and that's it. You see? But I wasn't groomed properly. And at the time, to say that I should go to under apprenticeship to go and learn how to make hair, whilst my fellow mates were in school preparing their chop boxes for and mattresses for SHS, it was upset. I remember very well. I cried my heart out because I didn't. It felt as if I was even a dropout, and people would laugh at me because maybe I didn't get my grades well. That's why I have been forced to go and learn hair, and so that was a no-no. And I went to SHS. After SHS 2, the call came again. I said no, cried my way through. And then at the time too, I had passion for journalism. No two ways about that. But this one, my mommy saw a bigger thing, but I wasn't seeing it, obviously. So it sounded as if it was a job for menial job, like something that was beneath me. You know, I wanted to be a broadcaster, sit behind the camera, read the news like I do at 2 and 7. And my mommy wanted me to go and learn hair. Can you imagine? Today...
So now you are a hairdresser.
Proudly. Proudly. And I don't feel embarrassed to say that I'm a hairdresser. I mean, I even prefer to be called a hairdresser than a cosmetologist.
Now, what is the distinction between a cosmetologist and that of a hairdresser?
Well, a hairdresser is under cosmetology. Cosmetology is encompassing hair, makeup, spa, basic beauty needs. But hairdressing is just the making of hair, the art of making of hair.
Now, let's look at, normally people watching you will be thinking, how much do I need if I'm a hairdresser or I'm a cosmetologist? How much do I need to start my business?
Well, I would be lying if I say it's not capital intensive. It is. But first of all, let me just put these thoughts out there. All you need is your desire. And again, planning. Look, I started this job with just 100 Ghana cedis. I went to Makola to buy synthetic hair. And this inspiration came from a friend. I spoke with a friend. At the time, I wasn't driving. We sat in the trotro. So on our way to the house, I told her...
When was that?
some 6 years ago.
Okay.
Or even 7, because that was before I went to really learn it as a profession. Because the talent was there, but I had to go under apprenticeship to learn the skills.
Oh, so you practiced journalism, went to learn hairdressing.
Combining it with pregnancy and all.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it wasn't easy, but you see, the passion was there, and so doing it was, even though it was tiring, it was easy too, because then I get the satisfaction. And above all, look, Bishop, if you don't find satisfaction in what you do, I mean, what is even the purpose? Why are you even doing it?
So passion is purpose.
Yes, it is.
I like that.
Because it will drive you through. There have been times that I have cried my way through the nights because I have demands I have to meet. I have to come to work the following day. I have to say, for instance, my husband is not around. I have to take the kids to school, running around house chores and everything. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just throw in the towel. I'm giving up.
Which one of them? Is it a journalism or?
Journalist. At a point, I felt like giving up on hair. At a point, I felt like giving up on makeup. At a point, I felt like giving up on journalism. Look, Bishop, I know you'll be surprised, but I have actually turned in my resignation before. But for the intervention of Akushika Akwe, of which I am grateful, Auntie Akwe, I am most grateful. She sat me down and talked me through like a mother would do for a child.
Wow, I like that.
Changed things for me. I'm glad I didn't.
So, can you just give me an example what you do? A typical day. How does your day start if you go to do work in the salon?
In the salon. Okay, in the salon, this one is a typical bridal bun. Okay, it's a classic bun for a bride. However, today's 21st century modern woman, you have even wedding guests, having this on, showing up like a bride. And so, if you walk into the salon, first of all, I'll prep your hair. If I say prep the hair, I'll just straighten, blow it out, and have it straight. And then I will mold it into this beautiful bun for you.
But this is a tripod, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But it's on the tripod because half the time.
So many more tripod widings.
I have about 10 of this in my salon.
Oh. So the tripod I want to use you for our camera work. You are using
for stability, yes, because you
are making the job difficult for us.
I know, right?
Wow.
Because you not get a model to always style with, and so for the apprentices and even for us when we are making hair, now people are into hair wig caps more than the weave-ons, and so it is not all the time that you get someone to work on. So when you put your hair wig dome cap on, you just sew it on it, and then you are gone.
Okay, let's come back to the 100 cities business. You're talking about how
the capital. Yeah. So I went to Makola with 100 Ghana cedis, and I went to buy a hairpiece with 25 Ghana cedis. I bought the thread, the needle, and then the hair dome that I needed. I came back to do, and the hair I did was for Valerie, the news anchor Valerie Danso.
Oh wow!
Yes.
Is that from home?
Yes.
Wonderful. I like that.
From the comfort of my home, I started Michelin Film. Today, to the glory of God, I have a salon. People even call to come study and learn under my tutelage. Sometimes I turn them away, not because I don't want to, but because I don't even have time. But once upon a time, look, it felt as if it wasn't even possible. Who is even going to patronize me? You know the voices that you hear and even the things people speak into your life. One time I remember I was going to buy things to go and learn how to make hair like some 6 years ago, and a friend who saw me said, "Oh, Michelin, and you should be able to learn how to make hair." I mean, every corner you go these days, you find a salon. You see someone mounting a stand, portraying themselves as makeup artists. But you see, as soon as I left the shop, I had a word. So is the population. It is also growing, and so there was place for me. From outside, the forest looked like a thicket. But when you go beneath it, you find that every tree has a stamp rooted in the ground. And they are all fine, flourishing and blooming.
Getting their nutrients.
Yes.
And exactly that's what you do.
Yes.
Fantastic. So how many apprentices or staff do you have at the moment?
Well, I told you earlier, I have 3 apprentices, 1 part-time in addition, making 4, and I have 2 permanent staff.
Permanent staff?
Yeah.
So how much do you pay them?
Well, 1 I pay 600 Ghana cedis, and the other I pay 800 Ghana cedis because of their skills. This job, it's the amount you attract is dependent on your dexterity and what you're able to offer. If you bring more on board, you attract more.
Okay, now let's look at, for instance, a typical day at the salon. How many people are you able to attend to?
It depends on the day. For instance, during the festive seasons, you find like, say, you can even attend to like 20 people, okay? But the walk-ins is not necessarily a reflection of the sales you make in a day, because I make good use of online. So in a day in the salon, maybe you can have just 2 people walking in, but maybe getting traffic on Instagram for 10 hairs, which will be worth your while for the day. And sometimes you even have to push to a week or 2 to be able to deliver, because then the orders are many. So it depends. But typically between 8 to 10, I would say.
Wow. So social media has been a major driver.
A major. Look, today's hair and makeup industry is thriving on social media. It's not even just like, it's not just a catalyst. It is on the wheels that we ride. We are moving with it, because most of the referrals I get are from social media. I get referrals from friends and colleagues, yes, and then of course I do something for you, someone sees it and likes it, and so then you give my number to the person. But on social media, if I post one reel, the likes and the following, the inbox, they get flooded. People call you. And so what sets you apart sometimes is the distance, location. Of course, not everybody can afford you. So you have to turn some down, turn some away.
Did you see men in the salon too?
Yes, we do.
What did they come for?
And you see, this I want to disabuse this myth. The cosmetology industry is not just for women. It's for men.
Made it so. You women have made it so.
Not necessarily. Well, it is perceived so. When a man pursues a career in the cosmetology industry, the person is perceived as gay or like away from the norm. But trust you me, in today's world, even the men, look, hairstyling, bridal hairstyling is different from hairdressing or hair making. Bridal hairstyling, I learned from a male, Kush by Taylor. He's a Nigerian. Wow. Yes.
So I'm even looking at clients that comes to you.
Well, men come, yes. Men who braid their hair, yes. The locks, they come to wash their locks. We lock hair, we braid, we twist, we do whatever. And so they come, men who have hairs on. And we have, of course, the foreigners too. Some like to come for professional washing and all. So, yeah.
So the hair, the pedicure,
manicure,
and manicure,
yeah.
Which one of them that you get demand, or is just the hair that drives the business?
Well, for now, I would say the hair and the makeup. But the pedicure too, it pays a great deal, especially for the men, because the men do not take time in the washroom. As for women, we are conscious. But men, not to say that men are not clean, but they'll rather rush through the wash time as against a woman. And so you find the men coming in for pedicure especially.
So setting up a salon, did you go to the bank to borrow money?
This is a story I wouldn't want to share, but I want to share this so that I encourage somebody. I tried, because rent in today's Ghana is a breaker. If you don't take care, rent will cripple you. Like, let me say it literally, because that's what it is. I went to my bankers, I spoke with them, and they told me to bring my pay slip and whatever. In fact, they have it already. And so they printed it and they told me and texted me. I was like, seriously, I'm looking for a big amount of money. This is not what I am looking for. If it is international, well, I should as well save and then, I mean, start a business. But I mean, unfortunately, what I was looking for, they couldn't give me, because you see, Ghana, everything has to do with collateral, and then it is pegged at your salary and all of that. And so if you're in the informal sector, half the time, you don't get what you want unless you set up on your own, it becomes viable, and then when you go, they have something to give you the loan against it, and so then they give you. But
which shouldn't be the case, actually.
Which shouldn't be the case.
Yeah.
We don't believe in startups.
No, we don't.
We don't believe in startups.
The bankers are not interested in growing with us. They're just interested in just
the successful, yes. And now they even call you to offer you loans. Unfortunately, that is it. But you see, aside that, I made savings on my own, and of course, my husband too helped me a great deal. So I am not a spender too. I am not a big spender. So the little I get from making it, I save. And this I learned from the woman under who I learned how to make hair, Gladys. Look, she never went to school, but trust me, Bishop, that woman knows how to calculate her income. Sometimes I even wonder and marvel, because there are things that she taught me that I wasn't taught in the classroom.
Wow.
Meanwhile, I have a master's in media management, under which I learned how to manage income, finances, and what have you. But I wasn't taught that. Simple, basic things. And so when I make, for instance, if I make 10 Ghana cedis of this hair, I'll divide it into 3. 1 for salon, 1 for capital, reinvestment into the capital, and 1 for future uncertainties. Okay? Nothing goes to me.
Oh, wow. That's how she taught you.
That's how she taught me. As a starter. To the point where now, when I take, I will not affect.
If you see the latest eyelash, you won't go and buy some.
No. For myself, oh no.
You deny yourself of that.
I deny myself. And you see, thankfully, I have a job I live on, okay? And so then I have income from journalism. But regardless, if you're a big spender, you can't achieve the dreams that you want to achieve unless you depend on others. And I'm not a I don't want to depend on somebody. I'm not a dependent. Of course, people have helped me. The little, even the advices, the encouragements and whatever, all those things put together is what has made me. But financially, I want to be independent. And so the least amount of money, including the soles, Bishop, including the solio. Because I tell myself, if I hadn't gone on this assignment, I wouldn't have had this. And so that money goes into the shop's money, even before I opened the shop. And so little by little, I saved to open the Michelin Mirror.
CEO of M&M. So looking at where you are now, where is your shop located actually?
It's opposite Enterprise Life, Nima Junction, off the President's Road. So if you know the President's house, then from the traffic light towards the Nima runabout, it's on your left side.
Presidential
roots. Yeah.
Wow. Only small. That's interesting. So what kind of vision, next 5 years, how do we see Michelin Mirror become?
Well, Michelin's Mirror is going to be a household brand. I want to be like the darlings of Ghana. I want to be like the household names we have in Ghana. So that if you walk to any shop to go and buy hair, you will see a Michelin's Mirror hair displayed, available for you with all variety to choose from. That is the dream I have for Michelin's Mirror. It's not going to be easy. It is big. Sometimes it even frightens me. But I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And so I know it is possible. Little by little, I am working towards it.
COVID-19 has struck the world, and you will deem as essential service. How has that affected your job?
It has a great deal. Look, hair and makeup is dependent on festivities. So if you don't have people celebrating Easter, for instance, nobody is going out. Nobody is going to attend a wedding ceremony, a funeral, normal photo shoot, normal outings with friends. Then it means they don't have need for your service. And so for us, it was difficult, especially for those who did not plan. I mean, we all not wish for uncertainties like this. This one, it was the first time, and so it hit us hard. But those of us who, had the online going for us, we were able to make some small sales here and there. And so for me, I took advantage of TikTok because TikTok came during that time. And so even though I wasn't selling, I was engaging people and I was increasing my followership so that when things bounce back like it's bouncing back, I'll take advantage of it. So yes, it has hit us. And then also, even in terms of manufacturing, look, China is the hub of hair making. Because of the restrictions, now they are not able to get the numbers for production. And so a frontal, for instance, that used to sell at, say, 400 Ghana cedis, is now selling at 800 Ghana cedis.
Double the price.
More than even double now.
Wow. Depending
on the quality. And so now, things that hitherto people would not even like to have on when it comes to closures, we call something machine and skin. I'm sure you don't understand what I'm saying, but those who do understand what I'm saying, machine and skin, they are now even opting for machine and skin because you know you get the hand tie.
Machine to bleach yourself or what?
No. It's called the skin. No, it's not at all. Far from that.
Okay.
To use a machine to sew the closures.
So if I come to the shop and I want to do this, how much would it cost?
Well, this should cost you between 500 and 600, depending on proximity. If you walk into the shop, I can give you at 400 Ghana cedis because then I don't have to spend on transportation and I don't have to waste production time trying to get to you.
Wow. So there's been our SME narrative for today, and Michelin's Mirror CEO, Michelin Taka, my colleague, was in the studio with us, sharing her story with us. And I believe that if you're out there that you couldn't get opportunity to watch, you can go to Ghana Broadcasting Corporation Facebook page. You can do it. My name is Edward Nyakun. God willing, meet next week with SME narrative. But tomorrow we'll meet again. Shalom.